It's Firemouth Cichlid time! Hey, what's up? It's Ty here, and welcome to my channel, Aquariums with Ty. And on this channel, I do a lot of fish videos and product reviews. So if that's something you're interested in, then consider subscribing. If it's not, then watch this video anyway. Alright, so say you have Firemouth cichlids, or say you have any cichlids for that matter. These what we're going to talk about can pretty much apply to any cichlids because cichlids are cichlids and they act that way. Now, why do Firemouth cichlids fight, or why are they aggressive, or are they aggressive? The answer is yes. I've had comments on my videos of, a couple people asking me, hey, this situation happened, I have two Firemouth cichlids and they're fighting nonstop. I removed them from the tank and then, gave them kind of a timeout or whatever. And then I added them back to the tank and they immediately started fighting again. And we're going to cover why these guys do things like that. My Firemouth cichlids, personally, I had a Firemouth cichlid that I had to get rid of because I have a pair of Firemouth cichlids that were constantly bullying this one fish. I'm going to start off with a couple experiences that I personally have had with the specific Firemouths that I have right now. And that is, one, I have a paired off couple of Firemouth cichlids. And let me tell you, these guys are super aggressive. I have them in a 50-gallon tank. Well, it's a 60-gallon tank, but it has a internal sump. And it gives them a lot of space to, claim a territory. And I kind of have, as you can see, the tank set up into two sides so that the other fish can have their side and this pair can claim this one side, which they do, and, defend their young on that side. However, wherever those babies go, that's where the mom and dad go. And they will basically attack everything around it and just create this like invisible dome around their young of, they won't let anyone within a certain range. So if this is happening, you should do what I plan on doing, which it hasn't gotten that bad yet, but I would just remove the other fish. Maybe find them, set up another fish tank, or rehome them. So, like I mentioned earlier, say you have two Firemouth cichlids, and no matter what you do, they just start fighting. Well, some things you can do is you can rearrange the territory or create a new territory within the tank, say with rocks or driftwood or even aquarium decorations. Something that you can break the line of sight, have one fish over here, and then maybe a big plant right here. It may not look the best, but at least your fish will be, they won't be as aggressive towards each other and tear each other up constantly. Another thing you can do is create more territories within your tank. So say you have, just for argument's sake, you have two rocks, a big rock over here and a big rock over here. Instead of having two rocks, maybe get a rock and a piece of driftwood that creates like a little home that a fish can hide in. So that's two homes right there. And then maybe set up three rocks over here or two rocks over here. Basically what I'm saying is try to build multiple homes where that will break line of sight and that a fish can go in and hide it in and out of. And they will, when these cichlids do this, they will not see each other for a little bit because they're guarding their home, creating their territory or whatever, and then they'll forget for a little bit, and that'll really ease up on the stress in the aquarium. So in a perfect scenario, the Firemouth cichlids, or whatever cichlids you're keeping, say you have multiple, they'll form a hierarchy, the dominant male or dominant fish or whatever, and then so on and so forth. If the fish don't just, in a perfect scenario, all the fish will just fall into place for their rank, so to speak. But if they don't, say that beta male is trying to be that alpha male, and he'll just never give in, then unfortunately you might have to rehome that fish, which I mentioned earlier. And nobody ever really wants that, so do the fun part and just set up another tank. Another tactic is to overstock your aquarium. This tactic is talked about all the time on YouTube, so I don't really want to go into too much detail because it's been beat like a dead horse, but just put a high volume of fish and it'll spread out all the aggression to where you know, everyone's getting picked on a little bit instead of one fish all the time. The only thing I'm going to say about that is make sure you have the water volume, the space to to be able to do that. Say like a lot of people wonder, oh, can I keep African cichlids in a 55-gallon tank? Yeah, they're big and they're small enough, you can, but if you're gonna overstock that aquarium to curb that aggression, which most people do that with like African cichlids, and you can do that with Firemouth cichlids too, but if you do that, 55 gallons is not enough water volume to sustain that long term. Like, it's enough space, but that water is gonna foul to the point where you're doing water changes like every 2 or 3 days. So yeah, you can do it, but I personally think it's not enough water volume, because who wants to do water changes every 3 days? I don't like that. That takes all the fun out of fish keeping. And if you're taking the fun out of fish keeping, or even cichlids, then that's not gonna make you want to keep them. And cichlids are like my favorite species of fish. So whatever you can do to just make it super easy, then do it that way. And I highly advocate that, even if it's just having one fish, like one cichlid in, like, not a 10-gallon, but in an aquarium. They have tons of personality. I personally like watching at least one cichlid more than I like watching a fish like a betta. I hope no one, you know, gets mad at me for that, but they're cool fish. So that's what I have to say about that. If you haven't yet already, subscribe and ring the bell so you get notifications. This video I kind of shot from the hip on, so if it's like super unorganized or rambly, sorry about that. If I forgot a lot, then I'll eventually make another aggression video, probably in my YouTube time, you know, or career. So, you know, look out for that if I missed anything, or ask me questions in the comments. Speaking of comments, I got a question for you guys. Do you have aggressive firemouths? Do you have aggressive cichlids that you can't handle? Let me know in the comments below, and everyone help each other out when it comes to figuring out, you know, how we can deal with this aggression. I have a lot of success with mine, so I think I can give you guys some pretty good tips, so feel free to ask.